What's up, world? It's me, Nez. Welcome to Let's Tell It. Okay. Woo! Excited for the new weekend. Thank you so much for coming by. Today, I'm going to be talking about Life, a Mystery Solved by Ziri Dafranche. Don't worry, he's Nigerian like us. This name, Ziri Dafranche, is actually his pen name. It's more his pen name than his actual name. So if you're interested and you'd like to know what life is about, because it's very philosophical, there's a lot of deep thinking, going on with the book and all that, please grab your friend, grab your popcorn, grab a seat and sit down, and I'll take about 10 minutes or so of your time and we can sit down and talk about this book. So thank you. Okay, so if this is your first time here, my name is Nez. Welcome. And then of course, if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I thoroughly appreciate you guys for constantly coming back to know what's up, what we're reading and all that. So Life, a Problem Solved is the first book ever by Ziri Dafranche. He said is one of several. Like, I think it's going to be a trilogy. The others are not out yet. I'm looking at my laptop a lot. This book was written in 2016, so middle of 2016. So this is like 4 years old right now. So we're still waiting for the other parts to be published. So I wanted to just show you a few things. I want to just talk about a few things that I actually had to pen down while reading this book. This book, first of all, I really liked this book. This book gave me, I'm going to put the link here where I talked about the prisons we choose to live in. There was a beautiful book that I read then that it just makes you sit down and ponder upon why you are who you are, what are you supposed to do with yourself, and then why you make decisions that you do. So that's what I felt with this book. So I penned down a few things that I thought, okay, this book really hit it very well, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. Number one is what is life? Yes, he started by talking about this. What is life? Well, it's me that said what is life. I don't know if that's what he called it. Basically, he just talked about how your life is not random. You are not a random person. He was like, you should try and understand that. As in, he was asking questions like, do you really believe that it was just a survival of the fittest that made it possible for the sperm that fertilized to make you who you are? It was just random. Life is not random. Basically, that's what he was trying to explain there. Life is not random. Several things are basically, they are preordained in one way or the other. Where you are, how come you were born where you were born. Like, we know of people that have lost children at the age of 9, at new birth. Some people get miscarriages. So it's like, how come you are still here? I think I liked that about it. Like, okay, what I liked about this, it made me feel very special, because sometimes you're so carried away by thinking, okay, the world is so big, you have to do this, you have to do that, but you're actually a special person. You're here, you're all by yourself, as in you're here, only one person has a gene like you, and you're here for a reason. So try to figure out the purpose, why you are who you are, what you do. Then I think he talked a lot about the importance of knowing your purpose. If you know why you are here, it's easier for you to avoid the rat race. Like, he mentioned a lot about the rat race. We all get carried away doing what every other person is doing. Everybody's in primary 1, we enter primary 1. Everybody's in SS2, everybody enters SS2. Everybody's in university, you enter university. So it's like we carry that system from school to real life. Like, everybody got a job, so you gotta get a job. Everybody's working in the bank, you gotta work in the bank. Everybody's in advertising, you gotta work in advertising. Everybody's a doctor, you gotta work in medicine. So the thing is that you're following everybody and just doing what they are doing. You haven't exactly figured out what you're doing yourself, what you're supposed to be doing. And it affects the decisions that you make and who you become, and basically leads to a greatly unfulfilled life. So yeah, that was number one. Number two was mind control. I think this mind control one, I've heard it too many times. Like, I've read like 4 books that have constantly talked about the importance of mind control. Your mind is your greatest asset. You have to get to a point where you learn to think big, think deep. I think I read a book, The Power of Thinking Big. I'm going to put a link up here too about it. So learn to think big and learn to think deep, right? He actually went on to put a quote. I'm going to mention that. He said, I think it's from Hitler. Yes, he said, how fortunate it is for leaders that men don't think. You see, it's easy for you to be controlled. It's easy for you to experience mental slavery when you don't think. And he went on to explain that everybody on earth is in some form of mental slavery or not. And he was like that a lot of times the things that you believe about yourselves are things that they've told you. Like, even the prejudice you have about people. Like, in Nigeria, the tribes are constantly almost as loggerheads. You say, these people, they always do this one, these people are always cheating, this people, their food is better, these people are not faithful, these people, they like money. And because you've been prejudged, even though you've not actually experienced them personally, and all that, it's mental slavery, because you've drawn conclusions on someone based upon what somebody programmed to you. And he was like, everybody is going through some kind of mental slavery. The issue is, And he was like, he cannot actually be totally mentally independent, right? You can never really be there, but what you can do is you can get to a point where you make more decisions for yourself based upon your purpose. So back to the life conversation, where the mental slavery is very small compared to every other, whatever it is that is going on in your life. So the more the mental slavery you have, you talked about, the influence of television, the media, the news, after a while, I mean, I'm going to give an example, right? I saw a list recently where they talked about top 10 cybercrime countries with the highest cyber crimes, and Nigeria wasn't there. So I put it up somewhere and I was like, Nigeria, see also, top 20, sorry, in the whole of the world, and Nigeria wasn't there. And some people said something like, how it needs to be investigated. That is not true. So here's the thing: some people have been sold that we're one of the highest on cybercrime. What is wrong with my dog? We're the highest in cybercrime. So because of that, that's why they believe that our name is definitely supposed to be there. So mental slavery. So that's number 2. Number 3 is use your mind. I think this one, I've already talked about it. Learn to think deep and learn to use your mind. He talked about the importance of, if you understand who you are and why you are who you are, in short, I think, let me talk about money. Understanding money. I think that understanding money one I find very interesting. Like, the world has given money, because we have been programmed by some things. The world has given money this status that it has no business having. Money is an exchange of value. But you see, we've been sold over and over again that money is important. That is why the world is in shambles as it is now. Everybody will go to war. People will do horrible things. Kill brothers. Brothers are killing parents. Children are killing parents. Do you understand? It's really bad. People are willing to throw themselves under the bus just to get this money of a thing. Meanwhile, that's because we've put money in a place where it has no business doing. And we've been sold the idea of, you have to get this, you have to get that, you have to get these gizmos, you have to get these gadgets, we have to get things that we actually like. Understand that the things you should get are things that you need. All you end up getting is just things that are just there, and they're just these things that you don't really need them, but they're just there. I don't know if it makes any sense. So like, understand money, understand the role it is and it has, and he was like, yes, it affects the work that we do. A lot of us are doing jobs that we do have no business being there. It makes us very sad, and it makes us sad, and it kills us eventually. Like, in the next 20 years, the job you're doing now, will you be happy doing that job? Will you be happy with your life? So like, things that you were supposed to accomplish since, that you've always known you're supposed to accomplish, say no right now, because it's about the money. I have to pay rent. So it's like, understand the things that you need, and then understand the purpose of your life. The fact is that when it comes to money, if you're doing what you're supposed to do and you do it very well, money will actually come to you. But the issue is that when you're so carried away by getting instant gratification, and then on things that you actually have no business having, like, is it possible that you have like up to 5? Is it so important that you have up to 5 cars in your parking lot? No. Sometimes really it's car. It's only one. Maybe one for you, one for your wife. 2 cars in there. Do you understand? But sometimes, like, you want to get the latest, you want to get the best, and that's it. Too many cars. So he talked about understanding money. I really liked that. He said it also influences the work you do, the way you raise your kids, because a lot of times these days we leave our kids with people that they're not familiar with strangers, because we have to go to work, because we have to make this money. So it's like, all those things are things that we should ponder upon. Now, at the back of every chapter, he actually left some exercises, things that will make you sit down and think a bit about yourself, like, who am I? Where do I fit into these things? And I really liked that. That was really fun. So that being said, he now talked about the last one. I think was my favorite. Not my favorite because I like the topic, but my favorite because it's something I've actually like. I'm safe. I feel safe enough talking about it, and that is death. Death for me personally has been something that I made peace with. Do you understand? Everybody is going to die. Okay, a lot of us don't want to hear, especially in Africa. People don't even like talking about. Like, I remember talking to a friend of mine some 3 or 4 years ago about her dad. Her dad was almost going to be 80 years old, and I was trying to talk to her about how it might be smart to get life insurance on your dad, so that when your dad dies, the insurance pays you money, and you'll be able to bury him. Blah blah blah. I know she looks at me like I thought she was listening to me. I think she goes, God forbid, it's not possible. And I'm like, your father is almost 80 years. What do you want? My father died at 90. He died at almost 90 years. What are you talking about? People will die. If they don't die now, they will die in the next. If you don't die now, you die in the next. Yes, that's so like one of the few things that are definite about life is death. We don't like talking about it. We like to avoid it. We do a dance around it, and we see that this horrible, bad thing. Basically, death is not it's not like death is not as bad as it is. It's a finality, yes, from this life. But basically, you're going to go to another life, and I don't know what you're going to be then. That's besides the point right now. But here's the thing: is like. If you learn to embrace death, if you learn to understand that everybody dies, it affects the value that you place on the life you have now. Do you understand? A lot of us do this thing where years down the line, we wish that some years back we had done something. Like, I know it happened to me. My grandmother died shortly after I finished university, and the Easter, she died like 2 or 3 weeks before Easter. That Easter, she told me that she said, come and I'd like you to bake me one of your cakes. And he said she wanted me to do it in her house with her, and she wanted to see me do it, blah blah blah. And I told her, ma, see, I need to get to, I was getting ready to go to a trip to Ghana. Like, I need to get back to school so I can go to Ghana, blah blah. Don't worry, when I come back we will talk. And she kept on, she was like, she's not talking to me, she's upset with me. I told her, mama, relax now, we'll see, and all that. And I come back from Ghana and I call my family to tell that I'm back, and the first thing my dad tells me is that my grandmother is gone. Honestly, I don't know how I felt, but like, when you understand that death is definite, if I bore in mind that this woman can actually be gone in the next few days, I would have just gone and done that thing. Because I think about it, how long would it have taken? I don't think it would have taken me up to 4 hours to sit down and bake this cake for this woman, so that she can eat and be happy, instead of her to die angry with me. Zabi! Anyway, that's my dog, by the way. Okay, so yeah, death for me has just become, so me, it's like I lost my mom when I was very young. That was hard for me to deal with, but once I did deal with it, it became easier, because after I lost her, several more people died in my life. Like, not everybody in my life has died or anything. Like, my dad is late now, but it's like I realized the way I handled my dad's death, I realized that I just got into a point, like, people die, it's what it is. And it's like, so it's only a matter of when. Some people die young, some people die old, some people, but people will die. That's the thing. So it's like, the earlier you embrace death, the earlier you value what life is, the more you tend to put off death. You don't want to talk about it. You're like, hey, God forbid, God forbid. The more you do that, the more you think that you have time. You don't know how much time you have. That's the only thing that is uncertain when it comes to death. But the certainty that comes with death is that you're going to die. I'm sorry to be the person telling you that, but you're going to die one time. If it's not today, you're going to die in the next 10 years, you're going to die in the next 50 years, you're going to die in the next 40 years, but you're going to die. We know, we've seen people die. People get old and they die. Some people die when they are young. So I liked that topic a lot. Ziri Dafranche, I like him a lot. It really sucks that it's the only book that he has written. I really wish there was another book I could write and I could read. But basically, like, all this philosophy, social science, social anthropology, all those kind of things. That's what I liked about this. That's what I liked a lot about this book. It just makes you sit down and think very deep about life, about, okay, so why am I here? Why do I do the things you do? And I think that's another thing you want to find out. The decisions that you make, the major life things that you've held on to, like, I must do this. Why are you must doing it? All those type of things. Why should you marry? Why must you marry at a particular time? Why should you have kids? Why should you have a certain amount of kids? Why, do you understand? Is it based upon what you were told, or is it based upon who you are as a person? So I think this book is really, really good. I like it. It's available at Roving Heights. So if you're within Nigeria, check out Roving Heights on Instagram, or if you're in Lagos, they have stores. Honestly, just do a Google search, you find where their store is. But if you're within Nigeria, find Roving Heights on Instagram, and then you can buy it from them. They'll send it to you. Then if you're outside the country, you can find out from Amazon. Then Amazon Kindle is also available. There's a version, like an e-version on Amazon Kindle, that is very good. I personally just read it on my laptop. I use my laptop to read it, and I use my e-reader. I'm going to talk about e-reader very soon. This book is really nice. Ziri Dafranche is called Ziri. That's actually what his full name is, but he used Ziri, and he's an accountant in the UK, I think. I don't know. He's just, for me, I'm like, wow, okay, good stuff. Great book. I think. Do I like it? I think, yeah. I think it's worth the read. Read it. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, this month we're talking about mental ailment. I use this book, mental illness. Mental illness. The reason why I'm talking about this book is, like, I feel like if you can understand, the earlier you can get yourself to a place where you settle, it's easier to avoid, and it's easier to be on a more understanding side when it comes to people and mental health. Sorry, that's a mental illness. Mental health. So yes, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and please feel free to share. This book, I think, is a book that is totally worth the read, and everybody should have it. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's a Christian book. Yes, it's a Christian book. So a lot of these things, he made referrals to what the Bible says. When he talks to purpose, God is only God that actually knows the purpose. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time.